afterwards.
Oh,
Okay.
view. Hello, everybody. Just admitting people here. Admit. All right. So welcome to this monthly non-duality Zoom with Dawn Garland and myself. Thank you for coming, everybody. Please keep yourself muted until invited to speak. This is being shared live on YouTube. So by asking a question, you are giving consent. We encourage you to raise your hand virtually after the brief introductions, and then unmute yourself, turn your camera on and ask your question. Alternatively, you can write your questions in the chat, either on YouTube or in Zoom. And this is, sorry, trying to do a few things at once here. This is for entertainment purposes only. There's no medical advice being offered. Just want to talk about the cosmic joke. And so hopefully you find that entertaining, but, oh, we got more people in the waiting room. Admit everybody. There we go. Fun. All right. What's the Zoom ID and password? I don't know.
No, there shouldn't be one.
I tried to share it as many places as I could, but right now I don't really have the ability to get it. If somebody else has it and could share it. Anyway, let's see what time we got. 2:01. All right. More waiting room. Wow, I didn't realize how involved that would be. Okay. Non-duality. Well, an introductory talk to non-duality. I used to go to AA meetings and they'd say the most important person in the room is the new person. And sometimes I forget when we get in the weeds with this stuff that there are people that have never heard it before. So for me, or some people will say here, or other ways of avoiding saying me or myself or I. But this character, whatever, however you want to say it, it was seen that there was no separation, that there was, everything just arose out of this oneness. And everything was empty. Oh, admitting all. Empty. So it was like seeing bodies empty of a person, empty of a center, empty of a will, of autonomy. It was just this one big appearance, appearing as separate things, but there were no separate things. There were walls, there were people, there were tables, and it was, you could say, this one energy appearing as these separate things. And I didn't have words for it. I'm putting into words now, but it wasn't like there was anyone here conceptualizing what was happening. I think of this Indra's net. And that is, it's either a net or it's a spider's web with drops of dew. And all the drops of dew have all this light and rainbow reflecting off of each other. And I think of it as even the net is made out of water, and everything's made out of water, and everything is infinitely reflecting off of each other and just creating this beautiful experience of life and variety. But there is no separate spider's web, and there's no separate drops of dew, but everything is reflecting off of each other in this way. So it's like saying everything is interconnected, but there aren't separate things to be interconnected. There's just this oneness. And there's no one separate here that realizes that. It's just what is. So I guess that's about it for my introduction. But we're happy to, I'm happy to take questions later and interact with, and interested in what you guys have to say about non-duality. But with that, I will pass it over to Dawn.
So yeah, non-duality, which a lot of you will have heard of, I'm sure. So it's the seeing of innocence, it's seeing of perfection, it's the seeing of love, basically. That's all there is. And in the seeing of that, I think with different people, with different, there are no individuals, of course, but what struck me, I suppose, was that everything is just appearing for no one, fresh and new. It's never been seen before, so it's just constantly fresh. And so for me, it was the seeing of heaven and earth. That's how it appeared to me. So it's the end of location, end of here and there, the end of my story, responsibility, failure, all these things. And it's just the total fulfillment in the moment. It's a total coming home, it's rest, it's So nothing ever happened, nothing ever will happen. And so it's the release as well from time, from space. And it's the end of suffering as well. This tends to blow the mind. So the mind dissolves in this, the identity falls away from the mind, and there is no identification. So there's nothing to replace that. There's just what is. So there's just life, and there's no separation from that. And in that, there's a scene of stillness and everything, and stillness, which is beauty, which is the sacred. And there's a coming to rest in that, and there's a love of just being in that. So there's a kind of beingness, just wanting to sit and be absorbed, because this is total absorption. It's being absorbed in the one, but there's no one to be absorbed. It's total rest. And I think we can leave it there. I think that's do for now.
All right, thank you, Dawn. Sorry, I'm just a little distracted, man. A lot of people coming in unmuted, so if you could just please mute yourself, it'll make my job easier. So if anyone wants to raise their hands virtually, and I will call on you. Or you can type your question in. Oh, we got a hand. All right. Sorry. Russell Hewer, please unmute yourself.
Yes, I'm unmuted.
All right. Thank you.
I'm quite interested in non-duality. I'm a Buddhist, so non-duality is the self-liberation path. Everyone has their own different concept. I just wonder sometimes that as soon as you see external signs, maybe, what do you see in external signs to show that you've experienced a glimpse of non-duality?
Dawn, you want to take that one,
External
please?
signs? What do you mean by external signs? I mean, there is no, when the glimpse is seen, so it's beyond the mind. So there is no, it's seen that there's no inner and there's no outer. And if you've never heard of this, you may not even know what the hell has happened. So you will know that something good has happened, and you will know that it's something true as well. So it's beyond the mind. It can't be qualified. It can't be known. So yeah, there are no signs to be perceived. It's,
So it's very difficult to have conceptualize anything if there's no signs or there's no recognition. So this is a very tricky subject because it's like a chicken and egg situation.
The recognition is the seeing. It's synonymous with that. So in the seeing itself,
what is it you're seeing?
What I'm saying is, when this is seen, it is if you've already read stuff about this, when it is seen, it is known. Like, it might take a while to integrate that, but it's seen directly, and it's beyond the mind. So conceptualization is something that comes afterwards. It's not, there are no signs of in the story of time. When we're talking about abiding awakening, or there's some people who have the experience of kind of this happening over time, slowly, sort of, if you like, this sort of creeping up on them, but what is your, when you talk of external signs, what are you actually referring to yourself then?
It's just that I've been a Buddhist practitioner for 30 odd years, and the ultimate path after tantric path is self-liberation path called Dzogchen path, which is the path of non-duality. And there are signs until you get to the point of near non-duality, then there's neither signs or signs. I'm not that stage. But you know, there are certain things like numinosity.
Uh-huh.
So there's a sense of stillness, calmness, and being totally at one, where you have a sense of luminosity. And then you have contemplation, where you bring your mind into contemplation in front of your altar, and then integrate that in your life. But you see, as soon as you start to talk about it, in fact, it's the either, it's actually between the thoughts, is where the non-duality is.
Those are all, yeah.
It's very difficult to get into that space, because really our ultimate nature is non-dual. It's just going back to our true nature. So in Buddhism, non-duality, when you actually achieved it, there are some external signs. So one would be Jalu body, which is a rainbow body. So you go back to the 5 elements, and all that is left is your fingernails and your hair. So that's one aspect. Another aspect, if you get near to non-duality, is you die, but your skin still stays flexible, and your heart is still warm for many days. So these are external signs, but you don't really know where you are, no matter how much you practice or conceptualize, until the point of death. That's the ultimate reality. Your point of death is really the sign of where you are in the sense of your path of non-duality.
Well, sorry, do you want to go? Do you want to go, Walter? Like, or,
just as far as signs, it was just a seeing of what was already, you know, like nothing changed. It was just seeing what was already the case, that there was no one here.
I'm on.
And no one saw that, which is the paradox.
So who do you know has achieved non-duality? Because if you know someone who has achieved it, then you have an idea, well, maybe what they did to achieve it. And it's one of those, as I said, it's a chicken egg situation. It's, you know, the more we talk about it, the less we know.
Well, there's no separate existence already. So there's nothing to achieve. There's no one to achieve anything.
In ultimate reality, that is true, but we are on a relative plane. So when we are living this life that is in relative terms, in other words, a dual life, that's how we live. As we get closer to the non-duality, things change. Our mind changes, our perception changes, our behavior changes, and ultimately maybe our physicality changes. But, you know, I just think that we have to have some form of external signs to see.
I'll find out how to get my video to work.
How we progress, you see, that's the whole point. Because we can be talking and talking like we are now, but we're just going in circles. So in Buddhism, there is a path. I like to say that there's a path, and it is progressive. But then as you get closer to it, it becomes much more, shall we say, subtle and uncertain. That's all I can say. And you have direct experiences as you go further down the path. But you know, the closer you get to that, really, the less you know. It's very strange.
well, all that falls away as well. So it's called a secret. You know, this knowledge was secret, and it wasn't secret because it could be passed on to other people. It was secret because it was beyond the mind. It couldn't be understood. So everything you're saying is a way of conceptualizing that, but it's actually when it's actually experienced, you will see that, but it's not in linear. You know, you will realize that nothing cuts it, nothing can. This is beyond words, and you know, you can tell it's linear. It's so all speech is linear, so it loses the flavor of this.
This is the challenge, though, you see. It's, as soon as you try to think about it, you've lost it. The idea is not to think about it. And then where do you go? It's a vicious circle.
My camera is at an angle. if I have the laptop straight to me, I'm half off the screen. I can do it like that. I can put my face into the middle of it.
Hi.
I'm always really a long way away.
No, I've lost audio. It's
Right.
real.
Sounds good.
I think I'm on.
You're on.
Sorry, I've lost complete control. I'm sorry.
All right. It's good.
I don't want to mute everybody and then mute. I don't know. Anyway, well, we have two other hands raised. Maybe we could come back to Russell.
Yeah, Russell, stick around.
Is that okay, Russell? And then
Yeah,
we'll-
that's fine. I'll put my hand down if I can find out how to do that.
okay, and then we Dangi, Dagi,
Hello. Yeah, it's Dagi.
Dagi. Hi.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi. I have a question to Dawn actually. Like, there was this awakening, I think like 2 or 3 months ago,
Right.
and yeah, I saw the reality that there is no one here, and the time was like just like, you know, all the classic stuff that you hear, that there is just this, and there was absolutely like no sense of location within this body.
Uh-huh.
And it lasted like for 2 or 3 weeks,
Okay.
and I was like utterly ecstatic. I mean, like, I'm not sure I will use the words that Richard uses because I'm reading like his books and watching a lot of his videos.
All right.
So I'm not sure about the liberation, but like if the fullness was seen, I think like kind of, but not entirely. Anyway, like after this time back, and now it's not so much fun. Like, yeah, I lost like any sense of, you know, like this mantra, like this hopeless, helpless, meaningless.
Okay.
And like the spirituality fell away. Like I was on the spiritual path and it just fell away. All the, I would say, like friends in the spiritual sangha, like they also, like interest fell away.
Right.
But, and it's okay, like this is kind of like, I don't really have issue with that. But the thing that actually brings me to the end of my rope is somehow the relationship, because it's also like, I mean, like my partner is also, let's say, on the spiritual path.
Right.
Though he's not like very hardcore about all the, you know, all the stuff like seeking and so on. But just like, I feel like so scared that I'm losing him in a way, like I'm losing the attachment to him. And this is like really, really difficult. Like I love him, but it's kind of like feeling strange now, and I'm becoming kind of unpredictable, that sometimes it's really good, but then it's like really bad, and I don't know, like.
So you're not sure also that the fullness has been seen, so there's not that so in the awakening period, the 3 weeks, like there was that sense that there was love was seen in that, like, and whole, and now that's kind of, so it's back, it's cooler, it's more,
it's dry, like,
okay, because sometimes attachment can fall away in that, but it can be temporary as well. I mean, because desire falls away in that, and it could be there is a kind of letting go that happens in that. And yeah, so in a sense maybe there is that, but it doesn't have to be you know, like a permanent, maybe just accept that and not be hard on yourself, because you know, it's quite common for people to have, even in energetic experiences, there can be periods of absolutely not loving your parents, your kids, you know, like this, and it can be really, really painful, but it's actually quite normal, and it tends to pass, you know, from what I've read, and you know, my own experience, which is a kind of letting go of no attachment to anything. And so yeah, you're worried, so you like your relationship's good in every other way then, and is that the case? And you want to keep hold of, well, your old self wants to keep hold of that, or like, is that the case?
Yeah.
What's your actual worst fear then? Like that you would drift off and leave him, or?
I suppose yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like yeah.
And what does that bring up for you? Like, is it, you know, is it the fear that you had something good and now you're acting slightly, you know, you're feeling very different, and so you let go of this and you might regret it? Is it that kind of thing then, or?
I think it's like I don't know.
You don't know.
I would have to be with this a bit more, I think. Like I just like, the thing is that I love him. It's just
Yeah.
like, I don't know, it's like transforming. Sometimes I really don't care. It's like, I don't know, I think I attached so many stories to this relationship, and now it's just like, it's like the stories don't really, I don't know, make that much sense. Like, I enjoy being with him. Sometimes I really don't enjoy being with him, but just like, I think what's, I don't know, like weighing me down is this idea that I have to be with him, like, you know, project myself into the future that for a long time.
Okay.
And yeah, I think something like that.
Okay. So it sounds like it's shifting for you, and it's bringing up a lot of stuff, and maybe just try to be with that and accept that, like, because you don't really know where you're at. This is all new, right? So
yeah,
it's kind of okay, and you'll have all these thoughts coming up, and you know, ultimately, I guess, you know, it doesn't matter. Well, it matters when it matters, right? And it doesn't matter when it doesn't matter. But it's just kind of, I don't know. I mean, everyone experiences this differently as well, and that's quite painful. This sounds quite difficult.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But the rest of your relationships and everything else is kind of, it's the only thing that's sort of changing, like that you in relationship wise, like it's a thing that flags up the most for you, basically.
I mean, like, you mean the other areas of my life?
Uh-huh.
I mean, everything is shifting somehow. Like, yeah, like no desire really to achieve anything. Like before, I used to have lots of motivation somehow, spiritually and otherwise. And now it's just like, not really. Like,
Okay.
yeah, I just like sitting and yeah, watching grass grow and stuff like that. And
Right. Sounds good.
and I'm just like, it's so strange, you know, like I don't know, without anything to plan. I mean, like, okay, I make plans, but now it's just like I have full awareness that these are just plans and they don't have to, like, in the story happen, and I don't really have influence over anything because I don't exist. I don't know, it's just like kind of general sense of dryness, that everything is just like dry.
But everything sounds good. It's just this fear around the relationship. So obviously this person's quite a big anchor point for you, and you're afraid of the repercussions. You know, it's understandable as well. And you know, I mean, you don't have to do anything, and if the attachment's not there, I mean, so you know, maybe just kind of be with that. I mean, does it have to be there? Like, you know, disappear, can't see. You know, does it need to be there for you? Can you just kind of be with that? And
yeah, I'm trying actually a couple of times a day, just, you know, sitting sessions.
okay.
Like whenever I feel like, whenever there is need, I just sit and yeah.
Okay. Is there anything, Walter, do you want to comment or anything?
Oh, sorry. I have a lot of hands raised and a written question also, but so I'm sorry.
Oh, right.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Cheers. Am I speaking to you? Okay.
Nice speaking. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, sorry. I think because she directed at you, I was
Oh, yeah, sure. Okay.
not fully, yeah, sorry about that. Okay, okay, here's a question. Hello, I can't find the raise hand button, but it doesn't matter. Here's my question. I had a friend years ago that just prior to his death, he was terminally ill. He had an out-of-body experience. In your opinion, is this similar or the same as what, oops, geez, as what, I can't, okay, sorry. Similar to what you and Dawn described as an awakening. He described it as such. He left his body and was making commentary on whether his body should continue to live or not, floating above his body, etc. Thank you for answering this question. All right.
So,
Well,
I mean, you could be awake and have an out-of-body experience, right? In which case there's no identification there. The only difference is your sense of perception is outside of the body. So you might go to different realms, you might travel in that, but it's not the same as an awakening. So there can be a person, you know, and a person there who's having this experience, which is you know, quite common. So yeah, it's not awakening, and I don't know that awakening necessarily happen. I mean, if it's a near-death experience, in which case the out-of-body experience goes to, you know, a different realm, then to, you know, down the tunnel of light or whatever like that. Often there can be an awakening, you know, at this that occurs with that, but out-of-body experience is different. It's just one of a number of energetic experiences which can happen whether there's awakening there or not, basically. So it's not, yeah, it's different, but they can coexist, if you know what I mean. So I hope that answers your question.
yeah, I would say the same. Yeah, they could be that experience of an out-of-body experience after awakening. Yeah, because all experiences, I mean, anything's possible. You know, this awakening doesn't limit any type of experience, but I wouldn't say it's the same, because awakening was just the absence of a separate individual. It was, so there was no commentary on, I mean, there was this wowness and like just thinking, wow, this is fucking unbelievable, you know, but not, I wasn't out of my body. I wasn't in my body. It was just what was happening. So yeah, there wasn't a separate, apart from, it's just what was. So
And
I don't know if that,
it can give you an insight though. Like, I mean, you know, that you're not the body, you know, okay, it's not the same as awakening, but it's certainly an insight. It does shift some sort of perspective, but it's, you know, just wanted to add that because not that that helps, but anyway.
all right. Next hand raised is Micah.
Yes. Yeah. Hello, both.
Hi, Micah. Hi.
Yes, I was thinking that could you talk about like integration? Like there's like here, there's like too much intensity somehow. Like there is no filters, and I have to like sometimes, like when I'm interacting with people, I have to like close my eyes or look in other direction. Like everything is somehow sometimes like too much, and like there's like tension. There has been like long time tension in like forehead somehow, like, and I have to be a lot of time just by myself to let things somehow ease. So yeah, just say that maybe that's the main thing.
Can I ask if that's a recent development then, or?
No, it has been like, I guess, quite recent, but maybe like within last year, I would say.
Okay.
Quite long time, but still recently.
Okay. Walter, do you want to, or do you want to, or we can, or do you want to go, or do you want me to go? I don't know.
Yeah, why don't you take that first? I'll
Okay.
jump in after. Yeah.
All right. Okay. So, you had experiences before, like awakening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, yes.
And that was how long ago then?
No, maybe first, well, like maybe 30 years ago or something like that.
Okay, right. And there's been nothing recent except for this intense pressure in the head.
Yes, and like the intensity comes like stronger and stronger, but
right.
Yeah.
So your feeling is that, like, I mean, I guess you've had this checked out with your GP, et cetera, you know, so it's not, you've checked out the medical stuff as well, just because it's always worthwhile doing that just in case, but
yeah, no, they I think that they doesn't have anything to offer that. No, I went to doctor to talk like about like insomnia.
Okay.
And then I like it's difficult to like interact and speak, but afterwards he get the point somehow, but afterwards I read what he had written down, and it was something like the person had a strong voice and he closed his eyes and look in the other direction, so you don't you don't get any understanding in the like in the GP.
Okay, well, I mean, you know, okay, so some of the symptoms sound like trauma, whatever, but if they're recent, you know, maybe there's something energetic going on there, because that's quite associated with pressure in the head as well. So, you know, and maybe everything's amplified. I mean, that's quite typical of, say, Kundalini or energetic, if there's something kind of kicking off in that realm. Otherwise, it could be your trauma being stirred up, so you're getting everything, you know, because social anxiety is one of the big kind of, you know, CPTSD or PTSD, you know, childhood trauma or normal trauma kind of symptoms. So it's, but sometimes it can just be that everything's being brought to the surface if it's energetic and it's around awakening, and it can be intensely painful. And so it's really hard to say, like, you know, in a way you're kind of, you know, without other phenomenon, and it's quite difficult to say, because, you know, I don't, what's your sense about it? Like, what is your sense?
My sense, like, they are both like, there is some trauma based, but also like traumas are seen just like as a narrative, like everything is just somehow real and unreal in the way.
Okay.
But,
all right. Okay.
But also this, like, just like too much intensity, like too much openness and too much intensity, but it's like difficult to know. Like I'm just wondering that, like, it will probably come like easier and easier, but I'm just wondering that how long does it take in like to with so much intensity in the way.
Oh God.
Difficult to, but already this makes it a little bit easier, because like when I talk it here, I get sense that there's more understanding than with TB doctor somehow.
Yeah, wouldn't be hard. But like, I mean, you're on your own with it. Are you on your own with this? You need to, maybe you need to talk if you're finding this some sort of relief that it's being, someone's receiving this, right? What you're saying, someone's actually receiving it. And
Yeah.
if you know that doesn't help maybe with the intensity in the moment, but at least, it could help you maybe kind of integrate that energy if you had someone to talk to. And so that's probably important, but it just sounds, yeah, you're getting it tough, man. You're getting it tough, aren't you? So I don't know.
But like Yuji, Krishnamurti, those stories were even like tougher ones.
Well, they were kind of colorful, weren't they?
Yeah.
Lights coming off UG.
Yeah.
But you don't really know in the moment, like, because just the emotional intensity, you've no idea what their internal state was really. Just sounded kind of cool. I don't know, dying stuff. But yeah, it was probably bad. I'll leave it to Walter. Do you want to jump in?
Sure. I don't know what I can say in terms of integration. It just, I guess there was an integration that took place, but like everything else, it happened naturally, spontaneously by itself. And along the way, there were very intense things happening, so to speak, but it was just what was happening in that moment. And there wasn't a desire to get out of it or get into something better or to get into something else. It's like wherever you go, there you are. So if it's intense and there's lights or there's energies, then that's what's happening. And that's all that was seen essentially, is that this is just life happening to no one by no one. And I didn't need to, if there was a process presented to me and I followed it, then that's what would have happened. But I don't put any significance on that, on any methods or practices. So definitely talking to people is a good idea. But also in another sense, I didn't need to talk to anybody. Like somebody was asking about signs, I think when it's seen, it's seen. And you don't really need confirmation. You don't need to call up Tony Parsons and ask him for his stamp of approval, or get some verification or certification that you've seen non-duality. It's just,
Yeah.
it's just not true.
Yeah. Like I'm like in the moment that like somehow every words are just like blah blah blah. It doesn't matter who is, but in the some way I get the sense what is the point that they are trying to say. But I sometimes also get the feeling that maybe okay, he's trying to say something about that, but those words are maybe not the best ones or something like. But to me, it's just at the moment just this intensity that how to. No, it will take time. What it will take, but I no okay. But this already, I will. Some other people may get the next chance to say something.
It sounds like it's falling away. Everything's falling away there. Like that's what it sounds like. But I'm just worried, like the intensity, is it bearable? Is it bearable? Or like if it got unbearable, would you could take some,
No.
you can.
I can take some. I have something to take if it's
Okay.
like, so like I get sleep and I can manage to next day some and this way.
Cool, because like the self-care, I'm sure all the self-care, like like eat well, the rest of it, you know, like get exercise, all that. Yeah, because it sounds like you're really struggling. Like that's the impression I get. I don't think you're equivocating when you say intense, you mean intense, right? So, okay. So you're really, really suffering. And I guess there'll be a limit to that as well, like how much, you know, and not everybody gets that. Obviously, a lot of people just don't get any of that. So there's a lot being stirred up by the sound of it. So that's not easy. Like, so, you know.
Yes, maybe I would not use the word like suffering, but like there is just like
okay.
too much intensity, like too
Okay.
much. But okay, this nice to see both of you.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
Bye.
I enjoyed hanging out with you in those Howard Chance meetings. That was fun.
Yeah.
Okay, we got next up is a non-duality slut. Where are you?
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Walter. Thank you, Dawn. Thank you, everyone that's on here. Such a rare time to speak to two people that aren't there. So yeah, my question is, I'll try and frame it, but let's just say it's you know, we're all children and this is imagination, okay? From the point of me, I have no way to know the value of this so-called liberation. And I've heard some people describe it as, you know, bliss 24/7, especially the younger peeps, without mentioning any names. And then you have other people say it's just ordinary. It's just, you know, looking at the trees, looking at the walling. So I hear these two different things, and I really don't know how to value this liberation. So my question would be: is suppose this is, you know, both you, Walter, and you, Dawn, but suppose, just imagination, for all children, and there's a genie, and the genie goes up to Walter and Dawn and says, "Look, you'll get the message, this non-duality radical non-duality message. You'll get the benefits from whatever the conceptual understanding of it is, which are significant, by the way. I save you lots and lots and lots of money and time. Jeez." So, but you only get the conceptual understanding, you get those benefits, no liberation, or you get the liberation, or you get money. You get, let's say, 10 million pounds. because if you're a very wealthy me, you can easily keep your mind distracted. You can be getting massages all the time, doing this. You know, you can really keep the me can be a happy, busy me, and then at the end of the day, when the body drops, I've never met a sad skeleton. Everyone, they all get the cosmic joke. So my question to you guys is there a price for this? Would you be like, yeah, I would take the 10 million, get the non-duality message, never get liberated, and call it a day? And or is it priceless, or is it a billion, a million?
Well, that is like a thing that people say, you know, that you should take the $1 million, because if you get the liberation, there won't be a you there to enjoy it. But I don't necessarily buy that. I guess it's all a paradox. There is no one here, but there is a sense of being, but it doesn't belong to anyone. There's this pure beingness, and that bliss, I mean, that's a loaded word, but there is a sense of peace, you know, no matter what circumstances. So I wouldn't trade that for $1 million, because when I believed that there was someone here, when I felt like there was someone here, everything was about life circumstances. Everything was dependent on things going my way and getting what I wanted, and life looking a certain way. And now I don't know how to describe it, but there is that piece that just, no matter how crazy I'm going, no matter even what I look like, I could be crying and venting about things, but it's very subtle. It's there. And I don't know how to connect all that in terms of liberation or enlightenment or anything like that. But I think what's true for me is true for you, is true for everyone in this Zoom. There's nobody in this Zoom. There's nobody listening to me, and there's no one here speaking. This is the same emptiness. Speaking is the same emptiness listening. And that saying of that is hard to describe. And a lot of people want to know about what are the effects of that, or what do you what are the benefits? There really are none. I mean, all the same shit happens. There's crazy shit happening in my life right now. And full range of emotions, everything's full on. But there's not that sense of I'm in control. I'm running, the things that I have a way that things should go. There's just what's happening. There's just lifing. And, I like the word grace because it's an unmerited gift. I didn't do anything to deserve it. I can't do anything to fuck it up. It's just what's happening. And that applies to everything. So.
Okay, and before we go over to Don Walter, one more thing. You mentioned 1 million, but let's up it 1 billion.
No, I still wouldn't be, because money does not, I mean, obviously, anxieties and neurosis and all these twisted, intrusive thoughts and ways of thinking, what am I going to do? What am I going to do with the money? In other words, I'll be anxious on a beach, but great. Or whatever, on my yacht. I'd rather be in a studio apartment, just sitting there in the silence.
A billion, and you get the message. You get to watch non-duality all the time, non-duality therapy, because I know it's just whatever's talking right now is nothing, insignificant, meaning. So, but that conceptual clarity, if you will, that's not it, because there's still a knower. But it is very, very valuable. It's I think if you just get that conceptual clarity, you kind of laugh at all the things that we did, like Richard Sylvester pointed out in his book, and in my book would probably look similar, maybe even worse than that, and a lot of other serious seekers here, same thing. So you still get the message, you get that freedom of that conceptual clarity, that it's meaningless, whatever happens. This is just you're writing the story in water. There's no trails behind or forward, but you also have that unlimited energy. Some people call money energy, so boundless energy.
It's just life living itself. There's no one here living a life. That's the peace.
Can I just say something about what non-duality Slutters has mentioned?
Can we just let Dawn respond to him?
Okay, sorry
And
about
I'll get back to you, I promise.
That's okay. He's raised quite a few very interesting points.
We will get back to you, I promise.
I just briefly then. So yeah, okay. So just talking normally, I wouldn't have survived without this. I would not have physically survived. I was suicidal. There's no way I would survive. So 10 million wouldn't have cut it. And I know when this happens, a lot of offers to go to things, sort of events like film premieres and stuff that I was really excited about beforehand. But after awakening, I couldn't give a shit. I wanted to stare at the wall. So, I mean, stuff that seemed exciting or glitzy or, worth something to me became absolutely meaningless. It was just, the choice was just to be able to sit and enjoy this love and this beauty and this. So no, you couldn't put a price on it for me, in no way. Yeah, I mean, it'd be nice to have that money now. But I wouldn't trade it in, right? I just wouldn't trade it in. No way. No way.
Oh, okay.
Oh man, no.
So what I'm getting from both of you is priceless, even if it comes with the free pass to Tony Parsons, and then obviously the other 12 or so, handful of speakers that talk about this, which does bring a lot of. I know my brother who checked out last year. This would have really saved his life. I mean, just that book. I hope he dies soon. He would have just swallowed that up. It's a real game changer, even from just the conceptual clarity. It really, obviously that needs to drop.
You don't want to be stuck in the conceptual for too long.
No, yeah,
people, right?
But yeah, no, I know, but it still has a lot of value. Even the knowing that the knowing is not it, but it's still. I mean, all those, you guys know all the money spent with all that stuff.
Yeah, definitely. So, yeah, there's something else, man, and it's like totally different, right? It's amazing,
Yeah. That seeking is like just that noose around your neck getting tighter and tighter and tighter. It's supposed to be a passionate seeker, like I was, and probably some people here. But okay, guys. Well, cheers. My name's Joey, or Non-duality Slut, either one. But I'll let the others raise their hands.
Cheers. Nice speaking to you.
Cheers.
Thanks, Joey. Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
All right. Well, we got a few hands up, but I'll let Russell jump back in.
Thanks, Walter, for that.
Yeah, for
sure. Joey actually raised quite a lot of interesting stuff. When I listen to everyone speak, I wonder if you're not really looking at non-duality. This is not a challenge. It's just a question. I wonder if you're really looking at transformation, where transformation is really living in the dualistic lifestyle and transforming it. Like glass is not half empty, it's half full, and it's not half full, but it's overflowing. Transformation. So when Joey was talking about conceptualization, it's important to have a framework in the beginning to conceptualize. So you have a start point, but in fact, that can be an attachment itself, and that can pull you back. So what you really want is direct experience of maybe the glimpse of non-duality. And that, so for example, Eckhart Tolle, he was on a bench and he had this sense of luminosity for many days. He had this sense of bliss. So the Buddhists call that contemplation. So it's actually not non-duality, it's transformation, it's contemplation. He was at the beginning of his journey on this discovery of maybe glimpse of non-duality, but it's not actually non-duality, it's transformation. So if you've experienced bliss is just the beginning. If you experience great states of bliss, then you go beyond the bliss. So what do I mean by going beyond the bliss? So when you start to bring that change within you, your behavior changes. I mean, we've got to have a look at some signs, because
transformation is in the story. Like, transformation is part of the story. I'm not saying the story isn't valid, because it is valid, and it's a part of the personal experience, but there is no person. Yeah. So I can see what you're trying to say in this state.
Yes. So what I'm trying to say is that the bliss is just the beginning.
That's not how it's seen here, but it's.
That is from the Buddhist perspective. It's the beginning of contemplation. The idea is to try to integrate that in your life, not just have it at a space in front of your altar or place of worship. And then eventually the bliss falls away. And what happens is that your state of mind changes. It becomes more non-dual, but means you're less conditioned by external influences.
But this is secondhand knowledge as well. This is you're learning. This isn't a
Yeah,
teaching.
well, I'm talking from my experience. So whilst you
But you
conceptualize,
said-
I'm
you
talking
actually
from
said
my
that this-
experience.
You did
My
say that this
experience.
wasn't. You did actually say that this wasn't seen. So it's still conceptual. It's
Of course it is, yes. But I'm trying to give you a handle that it becomes less conceptual as you move on.
But it's still a learning, still a teaching. Someone has taught you that, and you're telling me what you've been taught. I mean, it's not.
Yeah, but there's a difference between teaching and direct experience.
Yeah,
this is what we've got to differentiate. The difference, because anyone can teach, but you have to put effort. You have to put effort in to get direct experience.
Yeah.
So Joey came up with a really great thing about money. What is success? You know, and we all think, oh, we have £1 million, but success is not. It's really about equanimity. Equanimity, which means that our way of living.
You're going into teacher mode.
Like, no, it's not. I'm not, because I actually feel as though my behavior has changed over a number of years. I've had loads of challenges myself, and I'm only coming through my experience. You look at certain ideas and concepts, and then you taste it and see if it really works for you. So I'm just going through my experience. So then, as I said, the idea is you look for the signs in the beginning: behavior changes, calmness, more tolerant, kind, compassionate. But as you progress, the idea is not to attach yourself to the signs.
It's not non-duality. This is a teaching. I mean, it's not how it's experienced here. I mean, I don't know about you, Walter, how it's experienced.
Well, I was just going to ask Russell if we could get to some of the other people. We have a few hands raised and some written questions. I'm not hearing a question in there, Russell.
I just wondered if this is not really about non-duality. It's more about transformation, living in the dualistic lifestyle and transforming it.
Well, essentially non-duality would be saying there's no one to transform. There's nothing to transform into. All there is what's apparently happening.
Absolutely.
There's no separation. There's no evolving. There's no progressing.
That's right. Absolutely. It is what it is.
There's no path. There's no one on a path.
Absolutely. And the Buddhists call it true nature. So this is when you achieve your true nature.
There's no true nature.
Well, if you believe that your true nature doesn't have a dualistic lifestyle. So I'm just saying to you that this is not really a non-dual talk. It's more about transformation.
Your talk or my talk? I don't know.
Well, when you start talking about people's experiences and how they've transformed, it's a dualistic transformation, isn't it?
I'm not really sure, but I'm just going to jump with.
I'm talking to you from, I'm talking to you from my experience, okay? And I know maybe we all have different experiences. Yeah. And my ultimate aim is to try to have a glimpse of non-duality. I'm actually, well, I won't say, but I have put a lot of effort and thought into it.
We do.
That's why I've given a link in the chat to have a look, because there's actually a lot of science now going into it, into non-duality.
That's Buddhism. I think it's not non-duality. It's not what I understand of it. So maybe we should move on to another question.
Yeah, we can come back. I'm not trying to cut you off. I'm just.
I've got some other work to do, but it's good to meet you guys. Take care.
It was nice to meet you, Russell.
Thanks.
Yeah. Take care. Bye.
Money and what you might exchange this for. And obviously you couldn't. But the little me, yeah, I'd like some more money, especially with winter coming on and the electricity bills. More money would help little me, but I sort of feel that it wouldn't alter me. I don't know if that makes sense. Little me might get quite cold this winter. might have a few problems, but So, yeah, I mean, in the 40 years, I've probably had quite a lot of ups and downs, but behind it, nothing's changed. Everything is as it should be. I think that was my realization back then. It's hard, isn't it? You can't express the inexpressible. That's the problem. And I'd like to know what you guys think about it, really.
What is the question?
Well, I don't really have a question.
Oh.
That's why I was saying I don't have a question as such, but I was just prompted by that discussion about money, and as I say, that yeah, some more money would be, it would create some pleasant emotions, but would it really affect me?
I mean, I think you're just asking, like, would I go back into believing an illusion, or, you know, buying into this, buying into this separation and having this contracted sense again and all that stuff. If I'm going to trade that in for money, I mean, no, you know, like, but it's also not a feeling that I have anything to give up, to trade in, you know. So I never even think in those terms. It's hard to even answer.
No. Well, no, and you couldn't. No, the question is meaningless. It was just that question about would you trade it in for money just prompted my ideas about why I would like some more money, but that's the little me that would like some more money. I don't know if I'm making sense.
Will I jump in or you do?
Yeah. Sorry, go for it.
Okay, I was just going to say, so you're asking, does it make any difference? And, you know, all the studies done on this stuff, like from people who have like major accidents who end up paraplegic or whatever, like after 6 months, the same, whether you're a kind of optimistic person, a pessimistic person, it all returns to that. Nothing changes you. That's the empirical evidence is that. So yeah, you will get a kick out of money and it will be a real good thrill for a while, but then it will just be your new normal. Like in a sense, awakening is, but becomes that too in a sense, but not quite the same sense. So yeah, but there's nothing wrong with wanting money. I mean, that's one of the spiritual ideas around this. And yeah, if you're struggling with that, my God, I mean, yeah, but again, after a certain amount, you know, then you're into responsibility with money and you're into the pressure of that and everybody's after your money and nobody talks to you unless, you know, and you're going to be hang out with people who have money because, you know, like it's, so yeah, I get it. I mean, yeah, just, yeah, there's nothing, it's a good thing. I mean, yeah, I'd certainly like some more, but yeah, wouldn't trade it in. So anyway.
Well, we're gonna wrap this up in about 10 minutes. Do you have anything else?
Thanks.
Do you have anything else, Richard?
No, that's fine. Like I say, you can't express the inexpressible anyway. So no, that's fine. I'll let the next person come on.
Well, good luck
I
with
guess
electricity.
the answer is I'd like both. I want money. I want to be a rich, enlightened person.
Enlightened first and rich later.
Okay, let's see. How do we say this name? iPhone Van, AIMANE.
Yeah, that's me.
Oh,
hello,
thank you.
hello. Can you hear
Thank
me?
you. Yes.
Perfect. Should I turn my camera on or?
That would be great if you don't mind.
Okay, 1 second. I have to turn off my privacy.
Okay.
1 second, please.
Sure. Whatever works for you.
Mhm. Okay, so
You're still not there.
1 second.
If it doesn't work, you could just talk into the.
I think I found it. Oh no, I didn't. Okay, oh, wait. Okay, yeah.
All right.
Right. Cool. Maybe we should.
Do you want to just ask it verbally? Oh, he's coming back in.
Oh, right,
All
right.
right. You know, I actually have some written. Oh, actually, I think this is his question anyway.
All right.
Well,
Okay.
he's here now.
You see me?
There's a couple of questions on YouTube. Okay, go for it.
Yeah, my head looks weird, but I guess it's okay.
Looking
hi. Good to see you.
Nice to see you.
Okay.
This is much better. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, perfect. Okay, so I already asked the question on YouTube, but I'll ask it again because maybe I missed it. Okay, so a few months ago, like 4 months ago, I had an apparent Kundalini awakening because I started meditating to help with low self-esteem and stuff. So it was very unexpected. So the apparent symptoms like checked out for Kundalini because I Googled the symptoms. So like body shaking, random hand movements and stuff, like everything checked out. And so now I brought it, not me, I'm not doing anything, but I brought it to the apparent ending of it. So thoughts stopped, like all thoughts dropped, and everything became very silent. So, and when I went outside, like it was very, like reality was not the same. Like it's really strange to explain, but it felt very dreamlike. And yeah, like I just stayed like in the apparent, like you can in non-doing, like so everything goes by itself. So, but at a certain point, like when I went to sleep, I didn't even sleep anymore. Like I was wide awake during sleep, and when I woke up, I was rested, and that was very weird. And also, like something, it felt like something was approaching. You know what I mean? I read somewhere about like everywhere, every speaker speaks about it. They speak about the void.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
The
yeah,
void. So there was this apparent speaker on YouTube. Like like the seeking still is going on. So I'll just watch a video, and then in one video it was said like there's nothing, and I misinterpreted, like the mind wants to interpret it, and it was misinterpreted as in like it's non-existence, like so in a sense the mind thinks it's complete suicide, you know what I mean? And the silence didn't make it any better. Like it was very relaxing, but because I filled my head up with all these concepts, well, yeah, I had no choice in that. There's a lot of fear, you know, and so like the energy of the Kundalini was like at my head. There were no thoughts, and everything was very silent. And I went to a stream of a non-dual, so-called enlightened person, and we were speaking to each other through this frequency, you know, through the source energy.
Right.
But So apparently I resisted. I resisted on purpose because this is still very new for me. So I resisted. Like I went into my mind, ego. Like I started doing stuff on purpose. So because I was in surrender like 4 months, like I would just surrender everything. Like everything was happening by itself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, so like I did that, and then reality became very real, and I had to restart the whole process again. Like I would in this apparent dream, I would be like my breath, like doing things with my breath, hand movements, like the body's like preparing for something, like it's taking out all the heavy air and stuff, you know.
Mhm.
And that had to restart, and it was extremely painful, and all the dark projections came back. So yeah, now I'm in psychiatry because they think I'm crazy, I'm definitely not crazy. I'm leaving tomorrow. Like there's nothing
Okay.
happening. There's nothing it's just at the time the projection made me go here. So I guess because I resisted, so I started doing the weird Kundalini movements again. So again, I had to be taken to psychiatry because they don't trust it. It's not recognized there. If you say Kundalini here, they'll think you're crazy. They'll send you here, yeah, where I am.
Yeah.
But it's okay. Tomorrow I'm leaving again, and everything is back to being stable. So my question is, when so-called liberation happens, the mind won't be there, right? And like there, yeah, so if you, yeah, what's gonna happen? Like nothing's gonna happen, but like when the non-happening happens, will life still be the same, or um will, because it's permanent, it's eternal, what's gonna happen, right?
Do you want to
Yes.
go?
Sure, I'll just say put something. Everything is the same. And everything is love. And somehow being expressed in different ways. And it's empty and full. It's empty of a self, a separation, but it's full of mystery and wonder. And you're going to be okay, you know, because you are love.
Yeah.
That's all there is, man. And like, just trust. Sounds weird to say, but if there's any way you can trust what's happening inside you, I would do that.
Yeah.
I never give advice,
I mean,
but
there's
you
every
know,
time every
sorry.
time I thought I knew better, I got punished for that. Not punished, but like a love that's pushing you back. That's like, nope, that's not good what you're doing. Like if you use the mind, like if you think you know it better, then yeah.
So it's interesting the resistance as well. Like because a lot of problems with Kundalini are around resisting this. Like the energy of that seems to create problems. And I don't know if you've read anything on spiritual emergency as well, because
Oh yeah, definitely.
okay, good. Okay, so I don't know, what have you read then? Anything?
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, like I don't know. The old stuff is like Stan Groff, wasn't it? Like I don't know what have you read on spiritual emergency? Do you remember anything?
Everything. I've read Kundalini by Bonnie.
Bonnie Greenwell.
I have read that one. I have read Dr. David Hawkins, if you know him.
I don't know him as well.
Oh, you should definitely look into him. He's amazing.
Okay.
It is like into spiritual surrender, like surrendering all your emotions.
Okay.
And people and non-duality speakers say there's nothing you can do, but I don't completely agree with that, because yeah, there's nothing to do for liberation, but you can, I heard someone say this, you can get as close as possible. You can get to the edge with doing, not
Mhm.
doing, yeah, doing, and then it will take over like with no effort, and then the not non-doing happens. So you can get closer to it. But yeah, I've read Bonnie Greenwell, and
Okay.
I have read I Am That by Nisargadatta.
Okay. So, but basically, you kind of know, like, you know what you're going through, and
Yeah,
since there's something kicked off pretty bad with
I
the
know.
Kriyas, right? You're having big Kriyas, like, because it sounds
Yeah.
like there's awakening there, right? And then
Yeah,
for sure, like, and then I don't know.
but my awakening happened because of too much suffering, because of narcissism, narcissistic abuse. I don't
Okay,
know,
yeah, that'll do it. Yeah.
but I was extremely contracted. Like my contraction was at level 100.
Oh no.
Uh,
Okay.
So
There'll be
yeah,
a
it
lot
was
of
a real
trauma coming up from there.
pain, a lot of guilt, a lot of a
Right.
very heavy piece. So, but yeah, 1 second.
Mhm.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
I will add, just because he said non-duality speakers say there's nothing you can do. They actually say there's no you. Which
I'm
is
back.
different. Well, they say,
Oh, yeah, there's
I was just saying there's no you.
Yeah, there
As
isn't.
opposed to, so no one's really saying there's nothing you can do,
Oh,
because the doing will still apparently happening. It's still
Yeah.
apparently happening. It's always been happening, apparently.
yeah.
There's always been doing, but
1
it's
second.
just, yep, go ahead.
Yeah, I have to be right back.
Maybe we move on.
Um,
The
I just make that distinction because I think that can be really confusing.
yeah. But
I
also,
think-
like, yeah, I sort of thinking as Kundalini, though, there are things you can do in the sense of like eat lots of heavy, crappy food, have a hot bath, go for long walks, and you know, because the Kriyas that's all the trauma coming up. So yeah, that, and don't meditate if it's getting crazy. Don't meditate. You know, do something that dulls your mind. You know, talk to someone boring, watch some shit TV, just like anything that makes you feel normal. You
Yep, I'm back. I'm sorry.
know.
Yeah. So where were we? But I am extremely thankful for this because, yes, like I said, I was extremely contracted, like a very contracted individual, and this, like, yeah, in a way, saved my life too. Yeah, just like you
Right.
said, Don.
Great. Glad to
It's
hear
like
it.
grace. But the funny thing is, it's like when it happened, like the so-called awakening happened, something inside knew that it was something special or familiar happening, like grace, you know.
Yeah.
Like intuition. It was beautiful.
Oh, sounds great.
But I'm not gonna lie, the non-dual message, the radical one, is not that beautiful for the me.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Yeah. Be a lot of resistance to that, can't there? It depends. Like,
Yeah, I knew better than to resist. Like I remember being in the car, and Jim Newman said, "When this is heard, there's no going back."
all right.
So I knew better than to resist. Like at that moment in the car, I was like, "Oh fuck! Well, yeah, there's nothing to do." But it yeah, it
That's
got
cool.
easier, getting easier and easier.
It's good to hear that as well. Like, you know, just that, you know, there's no going back. It's, in
Yeah,
that moment, maybe you just, you know, something nice about that.
yeah.
Anyway. Well, thanks for.
Thank you.
Thank you too. So I shouldn't resist, and I shouldn't worry. Should I worry? No, right?
worrying
Who's-
will happen or not, and maybe you should worry. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not going to tell you what you should or shouldn't do. Yeah, you know, you've got to trust yourself in that. But yeah, you might worry, and you might have a reason to. You might not. But no, it takes care of itself. Resistance is. I mean, you know, you've read Bonnie Greenwell, and she puts it really well. Like it's just letting the kriyas play out, not resisting them, and
Yeah.
you know, and sometimes easier said than done, right? But you
Yeah.
know, the best you can say.
Yeah, my family thinks I'm ill or something, but the joke is on them. They're the one ill. They're the one resisting life. So
Yeah, you need. Yeah, it's quite common, isn't it? So
yeah, like the
it's
saying
not- yeah.
yeah, the saying like it's adjusting to a ill society or something like
Oh, it's very already
most-
dying, I think. Yeah,
the most normal are the most ill or something. But yeah,
not to be normal, like already lying or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but it's sad that you get punished for being yourself, like for being authentic at the beginning at least.
Well, you need to know how to protect yourself, who to speak to, and you know,
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff too. So, and you've been through narcissistic abuse as well, so maybe be kind to yourself. You know.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Anyway, nice for you. Thanks for sharing.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. I'll read one last question from YouTube, and this will be it for today. This is from Cappy. There was an awakening a couple of months ago that lasted a day before being sucked in the story. The awakening was a complete shock. It was terrifying rather than comforting. Can you speak to that? Dawn, can you speak to a terrifying awakening rather than comforting?
Terrifying awakening. Yeah, I mean that sometimes happens. I mean, there's that. Okay, oh, who's it? Suzanne Segal, the book Collision with the Infinite. Her experience was like that. 10 years of terror. I think the terror abated once she. I might be wrong. Didn't it abate once she realized that this was an awakening? Like everything had been seen because she was misdiagnosed as DID, dissociative identity disorder, and all sorts. Every therapist she saw. Anyway, so she had a terrifying one. I have heard of that before. It's not so common. So, you know, obviously you get, I don't know, make sure it's not something else. So maybe there's some trauma there. I don't know. There's very little information, right? You're not in front of me, so I can't really get into that in a deep kind of way because, you know. So I don't know. Is there anything you want to add, Walter? Like,
I don't think there's more to it than that. That's all I got on YouTube. That's all right. I just closed it. So, oh yeah, there's a few more questions here. But yeah, I think it's time. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. I just want to say we'll do this every month, so you can check my YouTube channel. You can check Dawn's YouTube channel. She also has a meetup, announces these whenever we do them, plus the local ones in London you can go check out if you're around there. And I'll be doing in September weekly live streams. You can join me. And that's about all I got to say. You got anything, Dawn?
no, yeah, just enjoyed it, and thanks for coming, everybody. Yeah, that's it, I think.
If everyone, you can unmute yourself and say goodbye if you want.
Thank you, Walter and Dawn, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Nice to see you. Nice to see you both, Walter, Dawn. See you.
Good to see you.
Yeah.
Bye,
Good time.
everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.